the channel. My name is Rochelle from Rochelle.Handmade.Designs, and in this video we are doing my May the 4th Be With You button down shirts for the family photos that we took in Walt Disney World to commemorate Star Wars Day. May the 4th be with you. Okay, are you on the dark side or not? Alright, now before we get started, go ahead and hit that like button and subscribe button, and also turn on the notification bell so you are notified every time I upload a new video. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into this video. But if you are new to the channel, welcome. And if you are returning, you already know what to do. Go get you some snacks so you could go ahead and get this pattern review that I am going to be giving to you today. Alright? So let's go ahead and talk about the pattern description. However, this video is for 4 shirts. So I created 4 button-down shirts in a matter of 3 days. Okay, so technically I wanted to take the photos over the weekend, April 30th. However, I had to get the shirts done in 3 days simply because my husband was going to be out of town that weekend. I was going to be out of town that weekend, and I was taking my kids with me out of town and just get them out of school for 2 days, Thursday and Friday, because I had a business meeting that I had to go to, attend for work. So I had to get these shirts done, and I scheduled a day in the park for my daughter's birthday, which was April 23rd. And we took the photos then, but then I didn't have time to edit the video to post, and I wanted this video to be posted May the 4th. So that's why I did not show anything from her birthday or anything, because this was her idea to do Star Wars for her birthday. So we did Star Wars for her birthday, and I just noticed May 4th would be Star Wars Day. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the 4 patterns that I did. But first I want to say that 3 of the patterns are patterns I have done before. So last year I did Mother's Day Mickey Mouse shirt for myself and my daughter and my son. The patterns that I used for those are the same ones. For my daughter, I used McCall 6951. For my son, I used Simplicity 8852. And for myself, I used Mimi G's pattern, Simplicity 8889. All right. So for myself and for my daughter, I did do a modification, which I will talk about here. But this pattern review, I kind of want to do it for my husband, because if you watch my stories about 2 weeks ago, I talked about how sewing for your other half can be a nightmare. Okay. He was, listen.
Hey y'all, so if you looked at my story just a few minutes ago, you will see that I sewed a shirt for my husband. He is super OCD. He was working my nerves. So for those of you who sews for your other half, how in the world do y'all do it? No, I can't. Listen, love them to death, but I felt like I was tailoring forever. But you guys will see these shirts pretty soon. Talk to you soon.
Love him to death, but he worked my nerves. Maybe could you take in a little bit here? Take a little bit at the waist. Please, could you add another button right up here? Honey, could you please go ahead and take in from the armhole all the way down to the side? It was babe, 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 babe. I wanted to name myself something else that I can't say, but Lord have mercy. He worked my nerves for 2 days. So he picked the pattern. Everyone picked their own pattern, and they all picked their fabrics. Now, I will leave all the fabrics in the description box below. If you are interested in any of the fabrics from the photo shoot that we did, as well as any of the behind the scenes that I will talk about here shortly, the link is in the description box below for all of our shirts, okay? Also, this pattern review is for Simplicity 9157. And the pattern description for that pattern is men's pointed collar, long sleeve or short sleeve option with a contrast variation as well. So for this shirt, you have the option of doing a contrast, on the facing. You could contrast the collar where you have the front collar one color and the under collar another color. You could do that as well. You could even do color blocking on the sleeves. The front could be something else. I mean, you can do so many different things with this shirt. Now, my husband talked about how he wanted a relaxed fit. Listen, he went from relaxed fit to wanting a more fitted shirt. So what I did was I took, and I'm going to show you some behind the scenes towards the end of this video. I took a shirt that we purchased from Walt Disney World during Christmas time, I believe. It was a Toy Story shirt. I took all the measurements from that shirt and then transferred it over to the pattern that I cut, Simplicity 9157, and then made adjustments according to what he liked. And the fit was spot on. However, he decided that he wanted it to be taken in a little bit. The only difference is this shirt does not have a yoke. That shirt has a yoke, so I had to go ahead and remove that yoke piece in order to get the fit that he wanted. So there you go there. All right, so now that we talked about the pattern description, let's talk about the skill level. So I believe on the website it says that this pattern is for average. I believe average means that it's for an intermediate beginner. And the reason why I say that is because for this, it's easy to sew. Yes, it is. However, if you are not familiar with putting a facing on or buttonholes or buttons, then that's why it's not for a true beginner. It's for someone who have had a little bit of skill and knowledge on putting in facing, buttonholes, buttons, those things, collars, because you don't want your collar just looking all kinds of messed up. So that's what I believe they mean by average, which is an intermediate beginner. All right, so let's talk about the notions used. So for the notions used, you only need thread, of course your interfacing, and then I believe you need 5 half-inch buttons. So I believe I did 6. Yes, I did 6 buttons because he wanted a extra button at the top. So I created, I just basically measured the distance and then added a button up at the top so he could close it if he would like. So I did 6, but the pattern calls for 5 half-inch buttons. All right, let's talk about the fabric used, which I'm not going to really cover the fabric used simply because I'm going to put it in the description box below for all of our shirts. But everyone's shirt is a Star Wars fabric. Like I said, I'm going to put it in the description box below. Let's talk about the pattern pieces. So for this is a hashtag 5 and below. Now, when you look at the pattern, it's actually 6 pattern pieces plus the buttonhole guide. So I use pattern piece number 1, the front, pattern piece number 2, the back. I omitted pattern piece number 3, which is the pocket. Pattern piece number 4 is the collar. Pattern piece number 5 is the front facing. And then pattern piece number 6 is the sleeve. So I actually used a total of 5 pieces, being the front, the back, the front facing, the collar, and the sleeves. The buttonhole guide does not count, so this would be a hashtag sewing 5 and below, which I will make sure to contribute to that hashtag sewing 5 and below.
5 and below. Hello, can you do 5 and below?
That Talisha at Creativity by T and I created back in March. I'm still using hashtag sewing 5 and below. All of our shirts, except for mine, is a hashtag sewing 5 and below.
Motivation to sew. Hello, can you go 5 and below?
All right, so and I'll get to that here shortly. Let's talk about the pattern sizing. So for the pattern sizing, the first envelope comes in 34 to 42, and then the second envelope that I used was 44 to 52, I believe. The size that I cut was a 46. Now, my husband is not a big dude. However, he does have a big back. So I cannot cut a big size in the back and then, or cut a smaller size because his waist is really tiny. I can't do that. So I cut it a size 46 at the top. And then I did some grading to make sure that he doesn't look like a swollen dude at the tummy area, because he's just not that. You know what I mean? He's just not swollen there, so I couldn't do that. All right, but that is the size that I cut. Let's talk about modifications. Did I make any modifications to his pattern? No, I did not make any modifications to his pattern except for adding a button at the top and then taking some in at the side from the armhole down. I did remove, I want to say, a good 1.5 inches to take it in for his waist to where it's not baggy or anything. But other than that, no, I did not make any modifications to his pattern. All right, so let's go ahead and talk about, did it look like the photos on the pattern envelope? Yes, it does look like the photos on the pattern envelope. My husband was so satisfied with this shirt. However, about 6 years ago, he purchased some Ninja Turtle fabric. And I was supposed to sew a button-down shirt a long time ago. But in the 12 years that I've been sewing, I have managed to, I guess you could call it, give an excuse to why I have not sewn anything for him. But 2 weeks ago, reassured me of why I have not sewn anything for him. Because like I said, he works my nerves. I had to take a whole bunch of woosah moments because I did tell him that I will sew him a shirt, which I have said that before, okay? But this time, I promised him that he would get a shirt because he really did feel left out last year for Mother's Day when I sewed a shirt for my daughter and my son and myself and went to Walt Disney World. We took photos and he's the only one without a shirt. I didn't want that to happen again, so I made sure he got a shirt, and now he's bugging me for another shirt, okay? That's kind of like how this goes when you sew something for someone else, because my daughter tends to do it a lot as well, okay? All right, let's talk about, are the instructions easy to follow? Yes, they are, and I did not follow the instructions except for the facing. And the reason why is because when I did a test muslin, I did not even look at the facing piece. I don't even remember reading facing pieces in order when I did the test muslin. However, once I got all the fit together and I went to cut out regular fabric, then I noticed that instead of folding it in like you would normally put a button-down shirt, I noticed that it had facing pieces, and I was like, oops. I need to test this again. So I ended up testing the shirt again, cutting out facing, and before going ahead and doing it with the regular fabric, because if you don't know, licensed character fabric is not your $2.99. Licensed character fabric is like $8 to $9. So we're not going to cut this out until we have the measurement spot on. Okay, so if you're doing a lot of mock-ups and testing with your regular fabric and it goes to the left, honey, you just wasted a whole bunch of money. So we're not doing that. I'm okay wasting $1 or $2 on test muslin or some scrap fabric that from the stash. Because if you see some of these test garments, you will see that you may have a card print on the sleeve just to test the sleeve. You may have plain fabric on the front, something else in the back. I test with scrap fabric instead of my real fabric, okay? So I know you guys always ask me, do I do mock-ups? I do not do mock-ups. I just don't do those things because I have so many patterns that I want to get to. And for me to do a mock-up or a test garment for every make, it just makes it very time consuming for me because I just don't have that time. So if it's something that I have not sewn before or sewn for someone, then I will do a muslin and test the front, the back, just basically test the fit and then cut out in regular fabric. But other than that, I don't do a whole test muslin or a mock-up for anything that I make. Now, I know there are many sewers who does that and enjoy doing that, and more power to them because, you know, I feel like to do a mock-up and a test garment, all you're doing is basically doing different views from that pattern if you doing it as like a wearable muslin or something like that. So more power to the people who do mock-ups. It's just, I just don't have the time to do that. And because I want to do so many patterns, it's just, I don't have the time to do the mock-ups, okay? All right, so let's talk about likes and dislikes for this pattern. I don't have any dislikes other than my husband. I'm sorry, I shouldn't have said that, but it's true. I did not like him those that day and a half that I did this shirt for him, but I like this pattern. I will be doing this pattern again. It was a great pattern to sew. So if you are sewing this shirt for your other half, this is basically goes into would I recommend this pattern to others? Yes, I would. If you sew them for your other half, this is a pattern that you can do. Make it short sleeve, make it long sleeve, make it contrast if you want, color block it, whatever you want to do. This is a great pattern that you can use. All right, so let's talk about first time experiences. Did I have any first time experiences? No, I did not. I have done everything that I have done before. Nothing new whatsoever. Would I sew it again? Yes, I would, which I just mentioned, and I would recommend this to others. So let's talk about my pattern rating. So for this pattern, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 5 because I really enjoyed sewing this pattern. It wasn't like okay, so let me put it like this. I really did enjoy sewing for my husband outside of all the hays, because you know, hays for horses, highs for people. So I really did enjoy sewing for him because he was super happy to see the shirt, because you guys don't understand. It is hard to kind of hide something from this man, because anytime I'm in the studio or I'm not answering the phone or whatever, I'm hearing one of those little voice message for me on Amazon Alexa. And I'm like, can I just record in peace? So now I know what I have to do is turn her off during recordings, okay? Because he'd be like, hey, you ain't answering the phone. Yeah, because I'm recording, duh. All right. So anyway, that is my entire pattern review for his shirt. Now, I'm not going to do a pattern review for my daughter or my son's shirt. I'll give you a little detail about my shirt as well. But a couple of things I want to talk about with my son's shirt. I have sewn it before. The only thing I did different for his shirt is I contrast the inside collar, the neckband. I contrast that, which was this. His contrast was the inside. For the inside was my husband's fabric. That's the only thing I did. I sewed it straight out of the package. His is a 5 and below. We did add the pockets, the front. His was 5 pieces. For my daughters, I did McCall's 6951. I did everything the same. The only difference is her shirt was sleeveless. However, we added puff sleeves. And the pattern that I used, I believe, was Simplicity 9581. I'll put it up on the screen because I really can't tell you the real pattern number. I think that's the pattern number, but I'm going to put it up on the screen just in case it's incorrect. But I believe it's Simplicity 9581. We just used the sleeves from that because it is hashtag So Maxi for Mother's Day, and it's all about making a statement. So she's seen my purple top that I made for So What series. I believe that was project number 3. Yeah, project number 3. She loved the statement sleeves that I did in that, so she wanted some puff sleeves. So she went and picked the pattern and was like, Mommy, can we add these sleeves from this pattern to this top? And at first I was just like, did she just really ask me, can I add a sleeve from a different pattern to the top? Did she not just see me do that with the lilac shirt? So I was like, yes, honey, do you want sleeves? She said yes, and we made it happen. And she loves that shirt. Since making it, she have worn that shirt twice. So I know that's a shirt that she will wear all summer long. Anytime we go to Disney, she'll be trying to put that shirt on or the Mickey Mouse shirt. So she does get a lot of wear out of the things that I make her. All right, so that's her shirt, which her shirt is also a hashtag sewing 5 and below. Yes. But her shirt was easy. It was just like the front, the back. So the front has the front like a button down, but it also extends the ties too. So the front, the back, there is armhole facing. However, you use bias tape for that, but I did not do that. There is a collar, there is a neckband, and that's it. So her pattern was 5 pattern pieces total. If you add the sleeves, without the sleeves, it's 4 pattern pieces and you're done. Now for my shirt, moving on to my shirt, I did Simplicity 8889, which is a Mimi G pattern. I have sewn this pattern before. I sewn this pattern straight out the package. The only thing I did was extend the pattern by 5 inches, which I have done before. This is my 5th time making this pattern, and I love it because it has a hidden placket. The only thing that I did different outside of extending the bodice, extending the button placket area, making more buttons, I did add a statement sleeve. All right, and the pattern that I use once again for these statement sleeves is New Look 6698, the same pattern that I have done a total of 3 times now. I did it for a sew along, you know, when I did New Look 6698, which I will put on the end screen. I did it again for the So What series, the lilac top that I did New Look 6668. I'll put that on the end screen as well. And then I'm doing it again for the Star Wars. So I love that pattern for puff sleeves. If you just want to do something really quick with puff sleeve, that pattern is the pattern you want to do, okay? And you just add elastic at the end. I love this top. I love it, love it, love it. But yeah, that's it for the pattern review. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm going to add some more photos at the very end and some videos of what it was like when we went to Disney. This is not our first time at Disney, but we specifically wanted to take photos in the Star Wars area of Disney. That's what my daughter wanted to do for her birthday, and she wanted to do it as family photos because most of the time we do not get my husband in photos. For many reasons. I was just surprised that he wanted to do photos, and he's allowing me to post the photos in this video, okay? Because normally my husband says no because of his job, and I completely respect and understand that. So you may be seeing him a little bit more in some of these videos, so because he likes to do family photos as well. So that's all that I have for you in this video. Don't forget to hit the like button, like, comment, subscribe, share, tell a friend. You are my friend. You tell a friend so we could all be friends, okay? So I'll catch you in the next video, and as always, keep sewing.